Fury Unleashed is brought to you by Live Oak Vodka. No matter what is thrown our way, Texans have a way of not only surviving, but rising above it. Call it determination. We have the heart of a mighty oak. That mighty oak can be found in the spirit of Live Oak Vodka, Texas's only handmade vodka. Check them out now at coastalbendistilling.com. Live Oak Vodka, baby. Let's go.
And now, Houston, Texas, make some noise because the time for talk is over. It's time to unleash the fury.
And we are live.
How's that snow cone?
We misses.
Did you lick that ice?
No,
Did he just lick that ice?
I missed it.
Well, he's got a margarita flavored snow cone going over there.
How's it taste?
It's hard to blame him if he is.
It's a little rough.
Can you see that on camera?
Live.
You totally can. It's like an iceberg. It's like a glacier in Diego's cup.
Look at that.
That's what happens when Eric Garcia is your bartender.
This is live oak and pineapple.
You get all the ice.
Dang. Normally he lets the ice completely dissolve in there, so I gave him a little extra ice this time.
A little.
Yeah, so
Use that
this should last the whole podcast. Okay. Cool. Well, how's everybody doing?
Oh, good, man.
Yeah.
The time for talk is now.
Fresh off of Fury 91.
Fresh off of it, man. You got to dive straight in, or we hitting the Hall & Oates playlist.
You got some Hall & Oates on there? What's wrong with you, Diego? You look...
Diego looks perplexed. That like I'm a little reluctant to dive in. He's like, yeah, because
No, it's for me. It's my.
He's thinking about what he just did. What'd you just do, Diego, before you got here?
yeah, what's happening over here, right?
What's on your mind?
The meter's like spiking into the red over here. It's got Diego concerned. See?
Let Diego do his thing. We got some guests in the house.
Yeah, man. Chill shot Joe Hendershot making his professional debut this Sunday. We'll dive into that. We got the head coach himself, color commentator extraordinaire,
UFC superstar.
UFC megastar Alex Morono, the greatest white.
Yes.
That's the nickname, right?
Close.
Right, close?
The greatest.
Welcome
white.
back, fellas. Everybody doing all right?
Cool. Yeah.
Joe's making his debut this weekend. Was he supposed to fight sooner than this?
Yeah, he was supposed
The May 12th?
for kill.
On the May 12th card, right?
His opponent pulled out.
Cedric pulled out. Yeah, so you've been anxious to get there.
Very anxious.
You've been through camp this whole time?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So I think we got like 4 weeks notice on this one, maybe less, but we were happy
Yeah.
to take because he was already in good shape.
Cool, man. Cool. Have y'all looked at the opponent at all? I know we just had a recent change.
Yeah. So they were actually booked as amateurs.
Oh, they were.
And then his opponent pulled out, and then we got somebody else, and then that guy pulled out, and then we ended up getting our Oren Day.
Yes.
Because his opponent pulled and Joe's opponent pulled on fight week, so they ended up fighting each other. I prefer not to fight. It's funny, Drew's guys or 4-ounce guys,
And that's
but like unless it's short notice.
just how it falls sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, these week of pullouts, man, they're just hell to deal with, and
Yeah.
and sometimes in my mind says like, are they true injuries? Are they true sicknesses? Whatever. Like this guy that you're supposed to fight this week caught a rib injury, on like Tuesday night or something, and then you rewind back to this weekend show and you look at the girl that Becca was supposed to fight, and it's like, man, what are we supposed to think?
And speaking of pullouts, a pretty disappointing, notable pullout.
Yeah, with Becca early. That one hurt a lot.
Went to the hospital.
Yeah, so I in my mind, I'm like, man, she looked good at the weigh-ins. She made weight, looked good at face-offs, and then, an hour before check-in time, I get this message that she's not going to be able to come because she's at the hospital and on an IV and throwing up and saying that the rehydration just didn't kick in the way it was supposed to. And I hate it happed.
I mean, kind of, but like Ricky's fight's a good example. No one knows.
There you go.
Ricky had given some examples, but like I show up to Vegas I show up to Kentucky on Thursday, and I'm at the hotel, and I'm like, where are these guys? And I call Matt. He's like, dude, we're at the ER. Ricky's knee's super swollen. He's got a bad infection. He's got a fever. And I'm like, no. So he gets checked out. They give him some antibiotics, and he comes back in the room, and we like have a serious conversation.
This is after weigh-ins.
No, this is before weigh-ins.
Oh,
so this is
shit.
Thursday weigh-ins or Friday. So our weight cut starts in a few hours, and he's like sick and inflamed. And I told him, I was like, Ricky, I understand like your perspective right now. I was like, if you feel as if you can't fight and win, we have to pull. I was like, but if you can make the weight and show up and fight your ass off, then we got a full send it. There's no middle grounds. And he sat there, he's like, I want to fight. And I was like, cool. If I were you, I would do the same thing. And he started to feel better, at least from like the sickness symptoms. His knee was still pretty swollen.
Were you out there? No.
We had our Dr. D come in, but like this is the difference. Like when we were in Mexico, Rosas had a headache, and that was it. He had done an interview on his symptoms. He didn't have food poisoning, and that was just kind of the difference between the guys. But I've also had to go into fights with like sinus infections and stuff and bad injuries. And like if you want to fight, you'll fight. Now sometimes it's bad. Like one time, the only time any of our guys put out day off was Jake. And dude, he had a fever. He was like genuinely sick. That's when he was supposed to fight Boston Salmon. And he tried to do his weight cut. He ended up busting, but like he really tried. I didn't know how sick he was until I saw him. And I was like, dude, you can't fight like this. And his manager was like, we should have known sooner because we'd have pulled him sooner. But I mean, if guys want to fight, they'll show up and fight. And if they don't, they won't.
This is a lot of stuff that people don't see, that happens behind the scenes. Have you looked at that Fight Inc. on Roku TV?
No.
The UFC, it's like behind the scenes. It's a 3-part documentary, and it just came out probably like last week or the week before. And it's a 3-part documentary, and it's like behind the scenes UFC stuff. And it shows Dana and Sean and Mick and Hunter and the shit that they deal with making fights and the pullouts and last minute changes. And me and Rich were talking. We're like, man, these are like some of the conversations that me and him have every day.
Yeah.
Like it's nonstop, and this business is a fucking problem solving business is all it is. You're trying to make the best fights and showcase the best talent, but you're problem solving shit every single day.
Yeah, I mean, I made a career off of short notice fights. My UFC debut was like less than 2 weeks notice.
Yep.
Fighting Cowboy was on 5 days. Fighting Pawns was on 5 days.
So that's a promoter's dream.
Hell yeah.
Like somebody that says yes is a promoter's dream. And if the fighter goes out there and he's winning and putting on a show and he's that eager and excited to fight, it's good business for everybody.
Yeah.
You've gotten to go corner a couple guys in UFC.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
It's awesome. Yeah, I got to go with Ricky up to Mexico. That was a cool experience. Didn't go the way I wanted to.
Yeah, well, obviously the fight didn't happen out there, but yeah, so you got to see a little taste of what your future could be like having somebody that I feel like that's such a plus for guys, that got guys in the UFC and coaches and teammates and stuff like that. Shows you where to go.
Speaking of Furious C91, your teammate, the grinder Jake Heffernan just fought. I mean, were you able to check out his fight? What'd you think of it?
I was. Man, it was a great performance. Jake looked great. It was a really, really good fight.
You 10-4 now, right?
Yeah.
10-4, and we haven't really talked about him a lot because he's been kind of inactive. But I mean, if he puts together a few finishes, you could make a case for him maybe being, call up worthy eligible, like on maybe short notice or something.
Do you think that Jake's performance was that way because he didn't have to cut that much weight?
I do.
You think?
Man, I do. His camp was good. No injuries. I mean,
because this fight was at 160.
Yeah.
And normally he weighs in at 46. So you're talking 14 pounds. I mean,
big one, yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Like, our best case would have been like a fight at 55, but we like the opponent stylistically.
And Adams fought at 170.
Yeah. So Jake was hell-bent on winning this fight. I mean, as you have to be, but I mean, he was in a really good spot, trained his butt off.
The overall card, so the undercard had 14 fights. I think we had 12 finishes, Wayne?
Yeah.
Was it 12?
We get through like 14 fights in what felt like an hour.
I could be wrong. I think it was 13 fights with 12 finishes and 1 decision.
Oh, yeah, because we bumped Alimont to the main.
Yeah.
Because of the Becca one.
That's the most fun I've had on a prelim show in a while. I mean, like, Raheel and I had to take a break and, like, calm down and get our energy back before the main guard.
We were so set on we were going to have swing bouts.
Yeah.
I was like,
knew we were going to have swing bouts and not get out of there until much later.
And we had no swing bouts. What are some of the Ami fights that stand out to you? Wayne, Alex, Jaden Wynn?
Yeah, he's good. There were a couple knockouts that were so good they were bad. They were so good, but...
The Chris Velarde, Anthony Moore?
Yeah. That was the second fight. And it was like a 30-year-old versus a 19-year-old. Hey, like I fought as a 17-year-old. Like I know what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
But man, just seeing Amis get like slept or starched is not good. I mean, it's
Stanley Okazaki
When Nick's out.
14 seconds knockout.
Enigma out of nowhere. We knew who this dude was, and he was like the coolest, nicest, most real guy ever. Yeah. I mean,
He came from Colorado, and Joe Solis hit me up a couple months ago about him asking if we could get him booked, that he really wants to come down and fight for Fury. And he was very grateful for the opportunity afterwards. He's like, man, please put me on the next card. So let's see how easy or hard it's going to be to match this kid, man.
He makes a case to get back in there as soon as possible. He didn't take any damage.
no.
I guess every one of these, Alan Gonzalez and Mahul.
Dude, Alon, man, I'll tell you, I cannot believe. So the doctor for Fury, he's been around forever. I mean, that dude was around as an older man when I was.
Dr. G?
Yeah, but to be fair,
Hey, did he ever ask you to do squats?
no. So I actually don't mind his style of seeing if fighters want to keep fighting. I think he's doing two things. He's seeing if they can take commands, and he's seeing if they want to still fight. Because if they don't want to fight and they don't want to do it, then he'll stop. And honestly, it's kind of a good out for the fighters. But
Let's circle back.
he let some fights go on, though. Like I thought they were going to stop Alon's fight because of the cut on his eye. And I actually told the cut man and Cameron, his corner, I was like, hey, if we go out of round 2, I'm going to stop this fight. He's an amateur. That cut was bad, right on his eyelid.
It was.
And he got the finish. But, like, he does not need to risk
So when you know that the doctor's in there and he's saying, let me see your eye, this and that, do that, do you think that pushed Alon to, man, I got to finish this fight because the chance of this guy stopping the fight due to this cut after this round is...
So we'd have to ask Alon. I didn't tell him the fight was going to be stopped out after round 2, like by my doing, but he found the finish. But it was funny. So Jake had a really nasty cut on his eye. But when the doctor checked on him, I was very confident they weren't going to stop it because he let that amateur fight with the worst cut go on.
But you never know what these guys are thinking because some of these doctors do dumb shit.
Man, I know. I know.
They do dumb shit. Like, what is your... we never really talked to you after the Aswell Alto fight. What do you think about that stoppage and what Dr. G did?
Stoppage.
And do you think that Alton was able to continue or was he ready to be out?
Man, a lot of it would be speculation, and I know you had these dudes in here, and if anything, like what I've learned is, if anything, like hype up the guy who won.
Right.
So like Aswell did a good job. His durability was good. His consistent offense was good. I don't know, man. I actually don't want to go on record,
Right?
Because I don't know,
Sure.
and I really, man,
That was kind of like, that was my thoughts too. Some people will just say what it is, but I'm kind of like,
it's not my place. Yeah, and like Altum's dude, I thought Altum, like from a technical aspect, was going to be able to outclass Aswell, and I've learned I no longer count Aswell out.
because you saw that with
Ever.
Nate.
Especially with Nate. So with the Nate one, I was like, on paper, Nate's got the accolades. I was like, but honestly, I have to choose Aswell because he's always made it happen.
That too.
He makes it happen, man.
What I said to me, finds a way.
They're lining up like, oh, I'll fight Aswell. I'll fight him. And as he kept getting finishes, that line got shorter. It got a lot shorter.
Oh, yeah.
Reality hit for him this week. He's in Vegas doing all his Contender Series filming right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all his promo stuff.
Fighting tonight, and then you see that soon, right?
Who, Aswell? No, it's good. He's
Promotion.
yeah, it's all promo stuff. It's all
Their medical's done. So Ricky was on the first Contender Series episode, the first season. And so they get their medicals done. They do their interviews and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's doing all the promo stuff. Him and Cody Steele are actually out there. And then Aswell's fighting, I think August 27th is his date. So we'll see. Man, I hope he does well. I think, like I said, I can't count him out.
No, never, ever.
Do we want to do any damage control? And there were some folks who jumped the gun on another name
Jacoby?
prematurely.
Yeah, so what...
We didn't make any announcement.
Originally, when I talked to Sean, back at the FPI, he says that Jacoby's going to be in, but there's no date and there's no opponent set yet.
Plus, I don't know, announcement.
Yeah, there hasn't been any...
There was some erroneous reporting. Some people watching our live broadcast, the Free UFC 91 broadcast.
Yeah, and they took what I said out of context, which honestly, at first I was like a little worried, but then I listened to it, I was like a little pissed.
Yeah.
Because I said, like, we have a super prospect in Jacoby Smith, and he's like a friend and training partner of mine, but they took that prospect and then was like, oh, he must have got signed and like really jumped the gun. That's very unprofessional on whoever made that.
Well, if you look at I went back and looked at the people who did it, and they don't have it's like 300 followers or something. It's not like it's not MMA junkie or anything.
No, but that was very unprofessional on
I
that.
agree. Yeah, I agree. He will be there.
Hell yeah.
I just don't know who he's gonna be fighting. But this pro card this week too, this past weekend.
How about Paris Moran defending the flyweight championship and still gets the finish? Arm triangle 357 in round number 2. The case against him, I guess, has been, he's gone to a lot of decisions. He hasn't gotten finishes. Boom, he pulls off a finish.
But he's 11-2, and if you think about it, though, I think he only has 4 finishes. I don't think it does it, man. I'd love to see him go, but if I call Mick and talk to him, and I saw him on Monday, and I kind of pitched it, and he's like, dude, I've got a list of flyweights that might be 10-0 with 10 finishes. So how do you pass one of those guys up, and take somebody that's 11-2 with 4 finishes? I think Paris is great. He's very technical. He comes from a good camp. He's got a good look. He's got our belt. He's defended it. But I
think that carries a little weight, too, that maybe some of these other flyweights don't have.
But is there any other...
Maybe another finish, another title defense or two, maybe that does it for him.
That's what we need to see. Is there any other guys on the roster? I would think Luis Garule.
Yeah.
Might be a good
with
fight.
Paris, man, I'll tell you, his technical ability is very high. So I had maybe my worst performance recently in the UFC, and I got a lot of criticism on it, like not looking high level. I mean, the fight was fun enough, but it wasn't high level stuff. And like I had a terrible post weigh-in recovery. It was my mistakes, but just like definitely zapped. And like I knew it day of, it was going to be a rough one. But anyway, Paris' skill set is super high level, belongs in the UFC from a technical perspective. So I think he will make it if he can keep these performances.
So you think right now he can handle maybe guys in the top 20?
I mean, how many flyweights are there? There's got to be, 40? So, I mean, a couple.
The thing is that Mick says he don't want anybody to come in there and start wrestling and messing up his division because he feels like any fight that he can put 2 flyweights together and the dudes are just going to bang it out.
Yeah, I mean.
And they're going to go for it. That's why he loves Josh Van.
Yeah. Also,
CJ Vergara.
I think UFC likes me because of my style. I prefer to stand and trade.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of the fans, that's what they want to see. They don't want to see ground stuff, Speaking of newbies, Issei Garcia, we touched on him a little bit. He looked totally different from his fight when he fought Gage Harper.
Yeah, he looked good.
This was his pro debut. He fought Dylan Aguilar. I thought it was going to be a lot tougher fight. I did talk to him and Diego after the fight, and he said that his amateur debut with us, that he just didn't know what to expect. And he kind of shit the bed that he was super nervous, and he walked out, and he felt like he had never fought somewhere like that. And he said he was prepared this time, and that he fucking showed it.
Bigger venue, brighter lights, and he gets a rear naked choke tap out a minute and 14 in the first round.
I booked him yesterday. He's going to fight Isaac Vasquez.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Isaac's making
Vasquez pro debut? Yeah,
they're going to fight.
At 35, right?
35.
Okay, cool.
So, I mean, he's going to fight at another big-ass arena and at the Tech Port in San Antonio, man. Like,
last time we were at the Tech Port was that main event triangle choke armbar debacle.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
Golly.
Tavares has since went to the UFC, and I don't think Gianni's there yet. I think he's been fighting in California a little bit. How about Tonio Figueiredo?
Man, he only threw 3 strikes that whole fight. A jab and a cross to counter the 1-2, and then that left high kick off a feint and jab.
So when I saw that left high kick hit and he went down, I didn't realize it had split him open.
Oh, so we did. We were like the perfect angle for the cut, and it was bleeding, man.
It was a big-ass cut. I saw a picture of it afterwards. It was at least 5 inches.
Well, see, I never saw.
Dude, it was the blood. It was huge.
Across his forehead?
Yeah, like a car.
And it was an open stance, and I think he may have thought a left hand was coming, so he dipped into it, and just, man, that was...
It seems like it just kind of like slipped right off the top of the head.
Yeah.
And it was like a baseball bat just gliding across his forehead. 52 seconds, first round knockout for Tonio.
Props to Tonio.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't follow up. He threw the hammer fist and it very gently landed right on his lip.
He was ready to.
He was ready to go.
Yeah,
I like Tonio.
Saw the situation and pulled off.
Jake actually showed him a lot. They both followed the same card. We go to war a lot. And, Tonio's a beast, man.
He's ready to come back. They hit me up yesterday asking when he can fight again, so...
Heck yeah.
We'll see. Josh Aliman impressed me a little bit with his performance. Coming back off his first pro loss. Now he's 1-1. He did really well. His wrestling. Obviously, we didn't get to see Becca. Austin O'Connor, man.
Dude. For anybody that was like concerned, like could he make the transition or not, he lived up to the hype that DC gave him of being the grittiest and the most MMA ready wrestler that he's ever seen.
DC was really high on him, and we talked back and forth for months. You know, I've been trying to book him for like the last 6 months, and finally they were ready to come over, and we thought Camden would be the right guy, and Camden jumped up to the opportunity. I know it was a weight class up for him, but we felt like he would be able to neutralize the wrestling a little bit and then maybe outstrike him.
Yeah, O'Connor wanted. It's funny. Sometimes when these like really high level wrestlers come through, they want no business on the feet, and he didn't. I'm like, oh, he's gonna grind him out, but he stayed so active. Yes. He had some crazy arm pins. He slammed his head on the ground.
Crazy,
man. I was, dude. I want to see him fight again.
The exact opposite of like a boring, wrestler.
Yeah,
he's got that. He's got that killer instinct, man.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought he was Police Academy defensive tactics instructor with been.
Man, yeah.
The way he had the chicken wing.
Wow. He's like Nelson Toes.
Chicken wing lock.
It was like pitting techniques. It was like pitting grips and holds, but
it was MMA. Like, if you're the other guy on the other side of that, I mean, how frustrating is that? You're just getting mauled. Yeah. Like, you're literally getting mauled every second of the fight. Yeah. He gave him no breathing room. He was punching, he was smothering, he was pinning, he'd get up, he'd put him back down.
And Camden Fondo's a good fighter.
He's a good wrestler for sure.
He met his match, this past Sunday, though.
The whole short debacle was strange.
Yes, that was something else, too. Like, that's a first for me. I know you're not supposed to have pockets on your shorts, but the inspectors, nobody checked him before he walked out.
So that's usually when it should have happened. Exactly.
That's where it should have happened. Yeah, I'm yelling at the guys, and I'm like, hey, man, what the hell? Right? Y'all let him come all the way out here, and now y'all say he can't? And then they let him fight the first round like that.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then what did he do?
So did he go out and change?
Somebody asked me back to the first round.
Like, the guy that held up a towel and he came out. And I didn't see it, but it's probably Camden Fondo had to change his shorts.
Did he change him?
Yeah.
Oh, he did change him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was weird, but think about that.
They come over that in the rules meeting. No pockets, no zippers, like all that is said.
But he lost his first round break, basically.
Yeah.
After the first round, he had to leave the cage, change his shorts, and then by the time he came back in, it's time to fight again.
That was weird.
He got no coaching.
So one time
I changed my draw.
I was at some smoker fights, and I had one of my juniors fighting, and they didn't know to have a cup. But I was like, I got a cup, but he had like boxers on, but I had duct tape.
So he has a table.
And I gave it to his dad. His dad was like, no, you do it, coach. And I was like, all right. I was like, hey, man, pull your pants. And I literally taped this cup on. This kid that stayed on. And then one time, AJ Hoffman had a pro fight against Thomas Moreno. Moreno didn't have a cup.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys can duct tape it on. And they duct taped it on. And Joe Solis was the ref. He was like, if it falls off, I am disqualifying him. I was like, cool, whatever. It stayed on. And AJ, I think, TKO'd him.
Imagine having to take that tape off.
Didn't it turn out to be a stolen cup?
A bar. Maybe so.
Somebody was missing a cup. Yeah. The word I heard was it was stolen.
That's some
they stole
low-level action right there.
That was a cup. Somebody who forgot theirs and can't fight without one. Right?
So one time, I'm weird. I'll buy like 2 and 3 sets of all my equipment. So I always have backups. And I'm in Tampa, Florida, fighting Max Griffin, and Marvin Vittori is in the back. He's like, does anyone have an extra cup? And I'm like, you know what? I had a full jock and cup that I didn't like. I bought it brand new, didn't like it, gave it to him. He used it, tried to give it back, and I was like, no, you keep that cup. But I always have like 2 and 3 sets of mouth guards and cups and everything, just in case.
That's smart, man.
Just in case.
Takes his job serious.
Oh, man, yeah, absolutely.
Takes his job serious. What about Yadier de Valle and Pena?
Yeah, man, unanimous decision. Yadier stays undefeated.
What do you think about that fight? Pena thought he won.
Yeah, I'm glad his corner did it too.
Yeah, they did. I'm glad they got that decision right. I mean, Pena's Alimov is good, but his volume is so low on the feet and very technical. Pressures a lot, but just doesn't throw that much on the ground. He gets takedowns, doesn't throw that much. Yadier was the one going for the finishes, landing the big left hands, going for the guillotines.
Over and over.
I think they called that one properly.
Pena says he's going at 55.
He needs to.
He doesn't want to fight it. And it was weird because they were supposed to fight at 45, and Yadier called me and asked if they could do 150. And then Pena came in at 52.
Yeah.
So we booked Pena yesterday, though, versus Tracy Reeder for Dallas.
Right, okay, it's a good scrap.
At 55. So
that'll be a good fight.
Yeah.
Will it's a good test for him.
Yes. All in all, man, solid-ass card. We should be back in that venue October 6th.
October 6th,
At the
epicenter.
At the epicenter.
Car subject to change, just in case. Don't mark our calendars quite yet, but
Well, let's get in.
tentatively.
Let's get in on our guest, man, and see what's up, Joe.
What's going on?
What got you in the MMA?
In the MMA, man, I started training when I was just really young.
Okay.
Got bullied a little bit as a kid, so just wanted to, scrap a little.
You grew up in Houston?
Yeah, I grew up in Houston. I grew up in, like, the Cypress area and then moved to, like, the Oak Ridge area.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
21, baby. Young baby. Did you start off with, like, wrestling or...
I started off with jiu-jitsu first, so.
Yeah, and at our gym.
I was going to ask, was his gym your first? Or
Yes.
start somewhere else?
Yeah, first gym.
How old were you?
Dang, I was 9.
9 years old. We got some pictures of him in like a yellow belt, little fat Joe. Dude,
So was it at the other Woodlands location?
it was at our first location, yeah.
Okay.
Has to be, man. Golly.
Yeah.
So how many locations have y'all had?
Just two. Like the one that Jim opened, yeah. And then the new one, mega facility, way better. Doesn't flood, which is nice.
That's
But so what's funny is like we have a huge kids program, and we have 3 age groups. There's between 40 and 50 kids each class. Man, it's nuts. Joe is one of our assistant coaches. He's my uke. But anyway, we do like an anti-bully program, and it's like step 1, ignore him. Step 2, tell him to stop. Step 3, tell your parents. Step 4, beat him up. Or defend yourself, I should say. Beat him up. And sure enough, Joe got bullied, used the process.
Since he was 9 years old, y'all been going with the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He uses it. And Renee choked some bully in the bathroom.
In elementary school?
This is in middle school.
Okay.
Tell them the story. It's fun. I tell the story to the kids all the time.
Yeah, no, there's just a kid making fun of me, and
This had went on for years, or
this went on for probably like 6 months. 4 to 6 months, somewhere in between then, and he like kept calling me names, and then he like pushed me one day, and then he like put his hand up to punch me, and I like ducked under, body locked him, took him down, and then subbed him out. And he was like tapping, and then like a bunch of kids like pulled me off.
So you were gonna put him to sleep?
Yeah, I can't sleep.
There is no tapping in real life.
I tell the kids that all the time. You got to work on your sub defense. But I use that example for the other kids. I'm like, he body locked him, ducked under, took him down, choked him out. Fight got broken up, and now they're cool and friends to this day.
Yeah.
So
It's generally the way it works.
So when you started
Somebody's asked, they want to be your friend.
when you started jiu-jitsu, was it because you were getting bullied?
Yeah, it was just because I wanted to like learn how to defend myself.
So you came home and your parents found Grace of Bob.
Yeah.
Did your dad start training after you started training?
So your dad,
His dad's a blue belt at our gym. His dad's a beast, man. A physical beast.
okay. What belt are you at jiu-jitsu?
I'm a purple belt.
Purple belt.
I can't let my son kick my ass.
He got us purple belt after he beat Aronde.
Okay.
In the cage. That was awesome. Yeah.
he's right. So you started training first, and then that got your dad into training?
Yeah, he like kept watching, and he just wanted to train after that.
How old's your dad?
He's 45.
He's almost. I'm 43, man. Holy shit.
I'm 33, man.
Wade's older than me. When are you gonna go train, Wade?
I don't know, man. Whenever my,
Let's get Wade trained.
whenever my shoulder stops hurt.
We need to get Wade trained. When are you gonna train?
It'll never stop hurting.
I know, right?
Diego trains every day. He wrestles them.
Fight whether that's on the soft squad choke me out.
Hell yeah.
Wade, he trains every day. He says,
Oh, yeah?
"Where
At the Jack Shack?
you wrestling him away, huh?"
Lana's Lotion Lounge?
So when did you decide that you wanted to start fighting?
Man, it was in high school. Well, my like freshman, sophomore year of high school, I started wrestling, and then I like got super big into like watching MMA on the weekends. Everything. I was like, man, I want to do this after high school.
So you've been a fan of the UFC and stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
You made your UFC debut when?
January 2nd, 2016.
And you were how old? That was 8 years ago?
Yeah. So
Shit. You were what?
13.
13 years old.
So Joe trained with us as a teen, goes to high school, makes varsity freshman year because he had grappled up to orange belt. So he's
You started wrestling in high school.
green belt. Oh, man. So we had trained for 3 or 4 years. Makes varsity, wrestles successfully for all 4 years. But I don't see him, which is cool. But, like, he was in high school. He comes back, graduated from high school. 4 years of wrestling, just jacked and physical. And he's like, hey, I want to fight. We're like, Coach Matt and I are like sold. Matt works on his striking, gets his amateur debut, goes on a tear, becomes champ. I mean, rest is history.
Do y'all make these guys get their blue belts or something before they fight?
Yeah, we have some pretty strict like prerequisites before they fight because we've seen guys get slept. We've seen guys get hurt in the cage when they're unprepared.
I remember Travis didn't let me fight until I had my blue belt.
Yeah, that's one of them.
And
Like at least one or two smoker fights, a bunch of jiu-jitsu tournaments. Ideally, some submission only matches now. That helps a big stage.
yeah,
Do you think, as far as real life world,
You didn't even have a microphone on you, sir.
so as a person could be at the defensible at blue belt level? I mean, it's
100%. 100%. That's like 2 years of training.
yeah.
And like we have like a lot of competitors. I mean, guys are always training for fights, tournaments, sub only matches.
When you think about it, like the average person who has never trained, I mean, somebody that's trained 3 months is going to have a big ass advantage.
And I tell everyone, I'm like, it'll be easy to make decisions to beat them, body lock them, take it down. I'm like, but it'll be the physically most demanding thing you'll ever done in your life. I'm like, it'll be the hardest thing you'll have ever done. If you fight somebody, they're going to grab you and squeeze you hard. So making choices is simple, but the physicality is easy. So do not expect it to be an easy fight.
Yeah. And I always tell my son too, you know, he recently just went back to training like 2 weeks ago. And he had trains from like 5 years old to 13. And then his 8th grade year, he just didn't want to do it anymore. And now he's a junior. Well, he's going into his senior year, and he just all of a sudden he wants to go back. So he's been training like twice a day, every day for like a couple weeks, and he's into it. But I told him, I said, man, the best thing that I could ever give you is self-defense, and you learning how to protect yourself. Like that gives me comfort to know that I could go about my day knowing my son's in high school and he's a senior, and if anybody tries to fuck with him, he knows the basics.
Yeah.
You know, he can like imagine somebody like Jay Aldretti. Somebody wants to fuck with that kid in high school. And that Sebastian
Or some big bully, 200-pound bully spoke and somebody like that around.
I mean, did you see him his last fight? How he just slapped the kid and then hit with
Yeah, I like Jay. I actually just sent him an email of like a sponsorship package that I put together for myself when I was like an up and coming AMU pro.
because he's looking.
Yeah, I saw his post. I like that kid. I like when kids work hard and like reach out and do stuff.
No, just like Jay's got that Nate Diaz attitude, so I just hope I never hear that he's the bully. You know, he's like some big ass 250-pound kid. I mean,
He got like a bully in between rounds,
no,
man.
he don't fuck around, man. Him and speaking of him and Sebastian, like that's gonna be our headliner for September 13th.
Man, that Oyavita is something special. I mean, I've never seen that before. I've seen a lot of fights. I've seen a lot of amateurs. I remember on his debut, his opponent was 6-3 and a good wrestler. I'm like, who is this young kid with a huge crowd? And then he does this thing. I'm like, oh, okay, he's a specialty guy. But he does it again and again and again.
And it can't be
I
stopped.
always remember him from the sub-100 cars.
Yes.
He's like 12 years old or whatever.
Orange belt and shit.
Oh, man, okay.
Whenever I saw his name pop up on the MMA site, I'm like, what? Is he even old enough to do this? What are we doing?
And he goes and trains at Travis's on Tuesdays. And man, I'll talk to Eves and Matt Snell and Paris and Smotherman, and they're like, bro, this dude gives us hell.
Yeah, heard.
Takes our back. Like, he subbed some of us a few times. So he don't fuck around, man. To be an amateur fighter and be that high level,
Yep,
he's going to be a problem, man. Like, he could be in the UFC in the next 2 years
which is wild.
if he gets his pro career going. And they're in no rush. You know, I asked Eve after this last fight if he wants to turn a pro, and he's like, man, I think we're going to go another Hammy fight. Yeah, I don't think there's one available. And I mean, we have Jay, Dragon Davila's coming up still, and Dragon's got a pretty good ground game as well.
Yeah, he does.
There's a couple other options for him, you know, to get it moving. We'll see. So when he decided he wanted to fight, how long did y'all make him wait before?
You use that Joe's Topologies?
Probably, yeah, that's some
Right. So 2018,
Yeah, so there's
so 2022.
beforehand.
Man, so yeah, in 18 months, he went 6-1, and that one was a split that we thought he should have won all day long. But
Yeah, split decision, man. It's
put a fire in his ass, James. Yep.
yeah, put in James.
Put a fire in his ass. I mean, so in 18 months, became champ.
Clemson won all finishes.
That's why we call him Kill Shot. All finishes.
That's what they want to see in the pro career.
Hell yeah.
Bro, that's amazing. Like, because there's not a lot of guys that go 6-1 in all finishes.
So after, I forget it was the second or third finish, Coach Matt was like, I got a good name for Joe. I'm like, what? He's like, Dead Shot. And I'm like, because that's one of like a comic book. And I was like, that's awesome. I was like, what about Kill Shot? And he was like, even better. Because we had just named Omega Level Josh Thomas his, because like, it's kind of nerdy, but in X-Men, there's Omega Level mutants. And that's like the most powerful of them all. And Josh has some Omega Level wrestling. So Omega Level, like, he loved it. And then we got Joe Kill Shot the same day. those two guys like two fucking mean peas in a pod.
Joe seems like such a nice guy when you put him and Josh together. Josh has that fuck you look.
So
Joe's got that.
We have a joke. Joe's like the clean, presentable guy you introduce your parents, and Josh is like the evil twin.
Yeah.
And it's ironic because Josh actually has a twin brother, and their personalities are so different. They wrestled together all with Joe in high school.
Y'all went to high school together?
Yeah. I actually went and visited him, and I didn't know who they were, but I went and wrestled with my stepson, who was also on their high school team. And I went with Josh and his brother. They told me, and I foot swept him and stuff, and they talked about it for a few weeks. That wrestling practice was hard, by the way.
Where did you go to high school?
College Park.
Okay.
They got a renowned wrestling team. Eric Spute is their main coach, and we keep getting their prospects. I love it, man.
So there's guys that wrestle that are training with you now.
I mean, yeah, Joe and Josh. And I tell Spute, I'm like, hey, if they ever don't want to go to college, send them our way. We'll give them a really rough career.
So y'all probably got some more
Hard knocks.
Oh, yeah, Jaden's another one. I mean, we got a good crop. Got a good crop of kids.
Y'all got a lot of good dudes, man. For sure.
One of my favorite moments from his amateur career was a moment he wasn't really even involved in, but Alex was. Which one? This third, fourth fight? Devin Jones, whatever. Devin Jones on this. Oh yeah, he's like 1-0 or something, and he like immediately went for the call out, and Joe Hendershot. Yeah, and he said something along the lines of, "I'm not young." And Alex was interviewing him, and I was like, "I don't think that'll happen, but we'll find out."
I didn't mind the call.
Alex is not letting him get one up on the show.
Well, no, it's because Joe was fighting later that night. There's a code amongst fighters. If they are fighting that night, you don't call them out pre-fight when they already have a fight booked. That's just, if Joe wasn't fighting, then like by all means, go for it. But Joe was about to make the walk, and like, dude, like, it's the wrong time.
I didn't remember that.
Your kid in it. Where were you fight Damien?
It was on Damien. So after Joe wins that fight, we're like, all right, we'll take it. And I don't know if Devin had some regrets, but he showed up, and dude, he was in shape. He was ready to win that fight. Devin was, because he showed up ready to rock. What I tell you, Joe, before that fight,
Guillotine.
I said, I think you can guillotine this guy when he shoots. Sure enough.
That was awesome, man. So what told you that it's time to go pro?
Just talking with my coaches.
So,
The experience.
and it was the way he won the belt too. 90 seconds, flawless victory. Let's get paid now.
So we're gonna try and fast track to the UFC, or we're just gonna take our time?
Man, I don't know. The times that the game has changed.
If he stacks finishes as a pro like he did as an amateur, then I mean,
So there's
it's a foregone conclusion. They're coming calling for him.
We have two conflicting theories. So Coach Matt and I have been doing this for like 15 years. So we talk shop every day. It's kind of all we do.
Right.
And we have a 10-win buffer theory. Like if you're a pro, you don't need 10 fights. You need 10 wins, ideally before going to the UFC. That way, if there's some struggles, you have a buffer. However, there's the second theory that's conflicting. When the UFC calls, you do not say no. Right. They probably won't call back. So I think it's a matter of staying active, staying healthy, winning fights, and then just seeing where they go.
Being active is huge, man. You see some of these guys like Tedrick Macklin's a really good example. He's been a pro for a while. He's undefeated. But if you look at his fights, he might fight once every 6 months, man. And that's rough, man. Isaac Moreno's going to be another one of those. Like, we haven't seen Isaac in...
Yeah, I was going to ask, yeah.
It's been over a year.
In over a year, and I know he went and started his own gym, but the kid's talented and he was on a tear, and I feel like Isaac and Tedrick both should be going to Contender Series this season, and neither one of them are.
I think he even mentioned that joining.
Yeah, I had a whole list of guys, and it kind of just went sideways when, they either took an L or stopped fighting. Like Hector Sainz just lost. And I was hoping that he was going to be another one that was going to be headed that way. And being active is, if you're not injured and you're training with guys that have fights scheduled all the time, and you're maybe 15 pounds from making weight, I think if a call comes, man, you're ready. Yeah.
It looked with Joe, 18 months, 7 fights. Josh, 18 months, 7 fights. So they tell these guys, I'm like, if you can do it, be active. From November 2014 to January 2016, so it was 14 months. I think I had 8 or 9 fights, and that's what got me signed to the UFC. Pro boxing match, pro kickboxing match, got my jiu-jitsu black belt, 1 Somali match, and then like 6 or 7 MMA fights. So I won everything but one.
Yeah, always in shape. So basically, that's what, like, one fight. You've had one fight every 90 days.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. I think that's fantastic. When you are not in the gym, what are you doing? You got any other hobbies besides fighting?
Man, play video games sometimes.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it right now.
cliche answer. I do.
And that's what you do too. You
yeah.
play with Alex. You play games with Alex.
Everyone is more play Call of Duty. Yeah.
Warzone.
But we're always in the gym. It's what we do. That's our hobby. Like training's our hobby. That's where I think we're successful.
Yeah, man. You have to stay. If you're gonna make it, you got to live a lifestyle. So you're 21.
21.
You don't drink. Is that really?
No.
Do you drink, Alex?
Not really.
You drink Hollywood on the coaches
Parties.
on the coaches trip.
We have this really cool bar. It's like a restaurant bar near our gym and house. One of our students runs it, Ale and Ivy. So they always do like watch parties for us and like post-fight parties.
They
Like
sponsor
yeah, they sure do. Every once in a while, we'll go do like a karaoke night. Like watch some UFC fights, do some karaoke with Ricky. We'll drink a little bit, but I mean,
Speaking of
karaoke.
I see Ricky's really high on that karaoke.
Oh, dude, he got all of us into it too.
Ricky, you see those videos on his IG?
I haven't.
Dude, he'll sing anything and everything.
All night long, I bet.
Yeah.
Does Ricky drink? No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
And that's Ricky not drunk.
Moonshine jug of water.
Imagine Ricky.
Hey, man, we'll hit you up with the next one. That's fun.
Imagine Ricky on Hollywood and then doing karaoke.
I don't know, man. If he doesn't drink and he drinks Howler, he might like snap and like go another way, another direction.
Speaking of Ricky, man, he just fought this weekend.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
Man, my fight sucked. It was a bad performance and like nothing to be proud of. Ricky fought his ass off, like made it through that.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, man.
Made it through that hellacious fight week, and he showed up and fought his ass off. Made a tactical error, a little bit of back exposure, but like won the first round on 2 out of 3 judges' scorecards. I was proud of him, and I'll like stand by that performance all day long.
When you look at that, when you're watching that fight, it's almost like, damn, Ricky's about to finish.
Yeah,
He's gonna get this. He's gonna finish.
well, we knew Rosas would like fade in the third, and like we saw how hard he was squeezing all that choke, Rosas, and I was like, if Ricky can get out, I think we got this locked. But I mean, honestly, dude, props to Rosas. He made it work, made it happen.
It wasn't under. Was it under the chin?
It started not under the chin, but then he was squeezing it. It ended up going under the chin. And I'll tell you, Ricky's hard. It's hard to take his back. It's hard to keep. Joe will tell you, it's hard to keep his back. It's hard to finish him.
Ricky's always been that wiry guy that just rolls and
Pace,
moves.
man. Yeah.
Nasty pace, man.
Rick had a good attitude too at it afterwards. I mean, Rick's a beast. He always inspires me to at least do like weight cut and rehydration better and fight hard.
When I first started working with Eric, Ricky was like the first name that he mentioned to me. Like, hey, of the guys that we have on roster right now, that's the guy that can make it to the UFC if he sticks with it.
Heck yeah.
There he is. The other one was Adrian Yanez. Well, those in two. Yeah, you were right on both of them.
They were supposed to fight each other.
Yeah.
For me,
And then the government decided that the flu should shut the world down.
God, we had done weigh-ins and everything, set the venue up. Everything was ready to go, man. Remember that?
Golly, what a fight that was going to be, man. We're really looking forward to that one.
So we go into Fury 92 this weekend, and Joe is the opening fight on the card
Kicking things off against Denzel Rosso.
at 155 pounds. Yeah, it's a short. So it's a short.
5-1. He's 5-1 amateur. He's got some decisions. Won his first one by submission.
Who was Denzel's last fight for? He fought for us.
Ezekiel Cates.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he fought Tommy's guy.
Got a unanimous decision over him.
It's a close fight. We watched it back a few times. Honestly, in hindsight, I think Zeke probably should have won that decision. It was a good fight, though.
So y'all like this opponent?
Yeah, he's at a 4 ounce, and again, like I've known Daniel for so long. I prefer not to fight those dudes. Same with Drew's guys, but like if it's ever short notice, then like we'll make it happen. They're getting paid too.
Yeah.
So no bad blood at all in this one. The dude's also like a true 45er, so like I don't mind doing a weight class up because he's doing a short notice, kind of doing us a solid.
And do you think like what happened with Jake, not having to cut that extra weight's gonna help?
I think it is, actually. Yeah. Like my whole senior year of wrestling, I didn't cut weight, and that was the best I ever wrestled. So,
And you wrestled at what weight?
152 my senior year.
Oh, hey, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Actually, didn't know that.
Alex didn't know that. See,
Hell yeah, I learned something new.
now he's even more happy. Look at it. So normally when you have to cut to 45, what does like 2 weeks out from weigh-ins look like for you? Are you really watching what you eat?
Yeah, I'm like pretty like keeping a pretty consistent diet throughout the whole camp, but then like 2 weeks out especially, like I'll start cutting my carbs down.
Okay.
And like really limiting
A lot of water?
something. Yeah, a lot of water, especially like week of.
You cook your own meals and stuff?
Yeah, I cook my own meals. Sometimes I'll get like some pre-made meals.
See, we got to get a sponsor for him, and that's already made meals. We know, we'll probably help him out with that. Yeah, we focus on other things, man. Besides,
So like right now, this week, we're 2 days from weigh-ins, huh?
yeah,
You look pretty good. You already close to weight?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can eat some regular meals today, and
We did some extra sessions. Yeah, like he's been a little more hydrated and nourished. Been doing some extra work.
It's always good, man.
Harris, you try to feed us some papacitos, fajitas, or something.
No beans.
Can't give him.
We started making a little bit of a cut, but nothing.
Yeah,
crazy.
for sure. Well, I would think like even a guy that fights at 45 is probably walking what, like high 60s. Is that what you normally walk
Around there.
High 60s. I used to cut to 55, and I was like 180, 185. If you cut to 70 from what? You don't get too heavy anymore.
95. No, I put on some weight and strength with my strength coach, and I think I'm gonna take some of the power down and get a little bit lighter. Dude, my weight cut was great, and just like my rehydration was okay, but it was the fuel I put in my body. It wasn't bad. It was just wrong. It was the type of carbohydrates. Because Coach Safe was like, Morono, you have to figure out why you look so bad. And so I really looked at a lot of aspects.
And this will tell you how it is.
Oh, dude. The moment the fight started, I felt great on everything. But the moment I started working my motor, I just felt zapped. I knew it was going to be a rough one. That was the wrong fight to make those mistakes in. That was the most expensive mistake of my life.
I've always thought that I was going to see you get to 55 at some point in your career.
No, there's no way. I make a big cut to 170. I have all my numbers in an app I'll show you. And dude, so I show up on Fight Week around 189. So I cut like 20 pounds.
Some of these 55ers, and they're fucking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the average fight of 55ers is like 5'9". Average height of welterweights is 5'11". That's what I am.
Okay.
And a big weight cut is overrated. It really is.
And then you look at like Diego Lopez.
He's huge, I know.
And he's making 45.
Which is wild. I know.
Which is a 45, man.
Crazy.
Yeah. This card this week, though, that you're on, man, is just pretty solid.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we got 4 prelims. Damian Anderson stands out on the prelims as well.
Taking on Marcelo Reyes.
Another 45er. Might be somebody you see later down the road. He's a high-level black belt. No Damian.
Yeah.
He only had one amateur fight for us. Pretty dominant. I think he made his pro debut, didn't he?
Yeah. Wardo.
Yeah, he's a 1-0 pro, so excited to see Damian back. Michael White opening up the main card against Jesus Lopez. One of what's the coach out in Dallas? I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, Jesus was supposed to fight. No, different one.
Chris Brennan.
No, this guy's wife fights in the UFC.
Oh, Doug Frey.
Doug Frey.
Okay,
Yeah, one of Doug Frey's guys. My bad, Doug. But he's really high on Jesus, and Jesus was supposed to fight for us on the last Dallas card, and his opponent bust for weight by like 5, and they pulled the fight. So,
as a promoter, what's your opinion on if guys bust by a big margin and the other fighter not accepting? I mean, cool with it?
yeah,
Okay, that's good to know.
I think that it's their career.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes the money's not worth it. You'll have a guy who busts by 5 pounds say, "I'll give you my whole purse," and at the end of the day, it's like, man. The only way I think the guy should be okay with that is if there's a stipulation the next day.
Right.
Like, we're going to weigh you when you come in, and you can't be heavier than this. Because you got to think, a guy that busts weight by 5 pounds is probably going to be 10 to 15 heavier than you the next day. You know, so they kind of know what they're doing. Now, I've seen some guys bust by like 0.8. And the fighter say he's not going to fight if he don't go weight.
Oh, yeah.
He lose the goddamn fight.
You always try to make him cut.
Make him go do something. But you know, a guy that is going to be over 5 pounds is not going to go. He's not going to make.
That's too much. Yeah,
that's way too much. I think 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds max. They can do it in 2 hours.
Yeah,
anything over that, they're probably not going to do it. But if they made an attempt and then they come back and they're still a pound over or something when they were 3 pounds, I think they should fight.
Yeah. I've never had an opponent bust. That's not true. For Fury, Larry Hopkins busted all day. I had to catch him at 180. He could have went at 200 pounds. I would have chugged a gallon of water to weigh it. I was down to scrap no matter what.
Well, your head kick knocked him out.
Yeah. I just hit a 36-hit combo in about 30 seconds. In TKO.
You just went crazy.
The most nervous I'd ever been for a fight. I was coming off a loss. And then realized those nerves were good. I give these guys a speech about embracing those nerves before every fight.
You get nervous?
A little bit.
Dude, I used to get so nervous.
You should. It's weird. I wasn't nervous one time, and I lost that fight. So
you weren't nervous?
I thought I figured it out. I thought I was able to beat the riddle. Didn't feel anything. When they're way too reckless, I got finished.
So do you get nervous now?
No, I get excited. I've done it so many times now. I crave the walk. I like the experience. I like the feelings.
So is there something that you do that you think helps you?
Practice. I've made the walk like 50 times, especially at a high level, and had a lot of success. And like even that last fight sucked and I lost. I took 0 damage whatsoever. So like when you know you're more than likely not going to take any damage, like what are you worried about?
I mean, but you never know. It only takes one to put the lights out, and there's always that chance that it's going to happen.
You know what? I had a fight with Tim Means, and he threw a big combo and 3 punches missed. And I was like, oh, if those had landed, that would have put me out. And I didn't care. And so I knew fighting was for me because, like, anyone else would have been, I don't know.
Everybody would have got gun shy after that.
Yeah, but I didn't give a fuck, dude. I was down to scrap. I wish I could have, man, that last fight really, I have thought about it for every second of every
rematch, right?
Yeah.
Is that the guy you fought in Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just my mistakes, though. I mean, no excuses either, which sucks. I wish I had a good excuse. I don't. So
Is that something that's learned or something that's in you?
not everyone has it. I've seen guys.
Not everybody has
I've
it.
seen guys quit mid-fight, all the stool, weigh-ins. If you're about it, you're about it. Like, one thing with my guys, like with Joe, with all these dudes, like, if they're not about it, I would never let them fight because they're going to get hurt. Anyone who steps in the cage is, like, ready to kill or be killed.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. See, let's say you go out there and try it once and you figure, man, this shit ain't for me.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you got to stop training. Like, just don't fight.
You got to be like a little crazy.
Yeah, but, yeah, there's something different about guys that make that walk and go in there and do it over and over and over again.
Well, a big part is, like, no one makes us do this.
No.
That's why no one's making. We sign up for this. That's why I'm so...
Especially at the amateur level when you ain't making no money.
Hell yeah. Like, that's why I'm like, no one's making you do this. Like, you better have the right attitude because, like, if not, just don't do it.
Yeah.
You know?
And you get some guys that do it just because they want a walkout song. They want pictures. And those are the dudes that get fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
is there anything that you do to help control the nerves?
I just do like a lot of like deep breathing beforehand.
So you've never walked out there and say, okay, I'm not doing this shit no more. This is the last thing I'm going to do this. Never. It is for me.
I don't do that with all those finishes. I'm tired of finishing these guys. I'm tired of choking dudes.
That's enough for me.
My last amateur fight, I was in the arena theater, the tiny little workout room, and this dude was on the ground, like, puking and moaning. And I'm sitting there, like, 18 years old with Coach Matt. And I'm like, what are we doing? And I told myself, I was like, this is the last time I'm doing this. Like, there's no backing out now, but this is the last time. Why do I put myself through this?
Yeah.
Make the walk, win the fight, have a blast. Had 0 regrets ever since that moment on.
I used to do that shit too all the time. I used to tell Jace, man, I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Like, I'm done with this crap. And then I'd win and I'd be like, fuck yeah. Let's go do it again. There's like no better feeling. Anything. Like, it's better than having your first kid born. No, I'm just playing.
So congratulations, Madison, recent graduate.
One, like, it's unexplainable. Like, everything that you've went through the camp. So I can imagine, like, how you're going to feel with your first pro win, man. I'm excited. When you come by and get that check.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of other fights.
Before he does that, he's got to get past Denzel Rosso.
He says that's easy work. He does.
No, we are not taking lightly whatsoever.
He's also looking for that check, Eric Garcia.
That's right.
Other fights I'm looking forward to. Well, there's a lot of them.
I know, man. We'll want to run through the main card.
Yeah, let's do.
We got Micah Dynamite White taking on Jesus Lopez. Alex, you've seen Micah fight a few times.
Y'all want to do some predictions? We'll let Alex do some predictions.
Man, I got to look. I haven't done the research on this one just yet. I don't know his opponent.
Fair enough. I'm kind of the same way.
Bruce Whitehead, Rusty Turley.
Bruce Whitehead taking on the returning Rusty Turley. It's been a couple of years. He's
Turley's not bad.
Yeah,
But Bruce is a beast. Bruce is a super beast, man. I got Bruce by KO with that one.
Alden Correa taking on Jose Leon, 2-1 at flyweight.
What do you know about Jose?
Not a lot, man. He took this fight on short notice.
He's 2-1. He fights at flyweight.
Yeah, he's coming from California. Obviously, he's a gamer. He didn't hesitate at all when we offered the fight.
Damn, all right. All
so
be good
Was scheduled to fight a couple of events back, but I think his opponent got injured or something, and so it was kind of rescheduled. New opponent. Christian Strong taking on Gabby Echeverry in the bantamweight division.
It's a good scrap.
Yeah.
Probably a pick 'em.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough one. It's going to come down to can Gabby can he keep it on the feet?
Yeah.
Can he fight out a takedown?
The next couple of fights on this card, I'm really looking forward to. Abdul Kamara is back, taking on Eric Showtime Shelton, UFC vet. It's going to be a great test for Abdul Kamara.
Yeah, if Abdul can get a finish here, I think that's going to say a lot.
And Eric has never been finished.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Abdul has to get a finish here. He's, 9-1 now, I think?
Abdul's solid, though.
Yeah, he's good. Solid. He's got 2 knockouts.
Hell yeah.
So,
And then next up, we got a flyweight banger, Shamik Harvey, taking on former Fury FC flyweight champion, the Little Animal Jacob.
This is my fight of the night. Shamik was actually at the gym yesterday. He knows Ricky because their connection with Brian Battle. So he was just getting the sweat on.
Jacob's never in a boring fight.
No.
Ever.
I think those dudes are going to stand and make it out.
And Shamik really wants another title shot.
Heck yeah.
So,
Looking to earn it, he's going to have to go through Jacob Silva to do it. Elijah Smith takes on Josh Snow Walker.
It's a cool fight, too.
that's a great fight, too, man.
Looking forward to that one. I like Snow, man.
Same.
So I'm not making a prediction, but I like him. He's a fun fighter to watch. Super confident, always ready. Let's see. Next up, Shimon Smotritsky taking on Aaron Phillips.
Shamo's a savage, man, but Aaron's a gamer.
Dude, he's big. He's a big old welterweight. Aaron, he's durable.
Yeah. Well, he fought at 85 a couple times. He fought Zach Reese for us at 85. So, I don't know. And that's a tough one, man. Aaron, he never says no to me. Like, anybody that we say, okay, I'll take it. He don't even bat an eye, man. But Shimon,
Dude, solid.
that's a solid fight. That's a solid one for sure.
Flip a coin. I'm not picking him either, man. Main event, flyweight banger, Joe Marpak taking on Nick Pitch.
5 rounds.
Oh, wow.
5-round main event, Fury FC 92.
Can Jamar fight the wrestling? That's what it's going to come down to.
Nick's good. Yeah. He's good.
Nick's good. I wonder if Safe's coming with him.
I think he is.
Is he?
I believe so.
This is a big fight for Nick, but he's got to finish. I'm gonna see if Mick's gonna come out, and maybe I can, if he does, or whoever finishes, see if Mick's impressed, see if he can take him.
Heck yeah.
A lot of implications if Nick Piccinini's able to get a finish in this.
A lot of prospects on this card. I think Elijah and Josh Walker both have a shot. Shimon's got a shot. Nick and Jamar, Abdul, Shamik,
Yeah.
Gabe and Christian. Christian Straw's like 6-1, I think. He's got 1 loss. He beat Cameron Smotherman a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of prospects. Before we get out of here, I want to hear Joe's. What did they say? Funniest story about Alex? Or
Funniest story?
what is that? What did Sam say? Well, we asked Sam. We asked Brian. You gotta push it.
Something like that. Yeah.
Was it on Diego?
Alex Morono.
No, he said, "What's your funniest story about Alex?"
Funniest Alex is probably when we were in Mexico, just getting burgers at like 3 a.m. at the hotel.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. That
I wasn't far off. They were in Mexico.
what movie we watch?
I forgot the name.
Oh, it was Clerks 2.
Clerks 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We don't, dude. I mean, we just mostly trade and fight. Nothing crazy.
Club. Nah, man.
Done some karaoke together.
These guys are nerds, man. They watch comedy.
This was in Mexico when Ricky was supposed to buy hamburgers.
Yes.
Did y'all go to a donkey show?
Sure, I heard of the donkey show.
Yeah. That was in the movie, but no.
Did he tell anything? Hey, did the donkey do cocaine off a bar?
That was in the movie. You got anything for these guys?
Joe Hendershot's never seen Bachelor Party. He has no idea what I'm talking about, but he's smiling and nodding and playing along. I appreciate that.
When did Bachelor Party come out?
I mean, like way before he was born.
Probably before I was.
But it's a classic.
Yeah.
I was 3 years old.
Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, you have.
Who's that? Tom Hanks?
Yes. See?
Is that Tom Hanks?
See, he knows all the answers, Bob.
I actually don't know this movie reference. I know every movie.
See? Bang.
Tom Hanks. I'm about to go watch Bachelor Party.
Do we want to shout out any sponsors?
Go ahead.
Live Oak, Texas Vodka, Deep Roots, Strong Branches, Howard Head Whiskey. We didn't shoot any whiskey today. We'll do that after the podcast. Get some of that monkey spirit in us. Space City Collective. If you're a sneakerhead, if you buy kicks, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't go check out Space City Collective. How about Danuna Law Firm?
Danuna Law Firm.
Diego.
713.
Diego, do you have their phone number saved in your cell phone? Yeah. 713-257-8889. If you get into like some criminal defense issues, Don't call him for like a paternity test or anything. I don't think he does that.
What if Diego gets caught at the massage ball doing?
You get wrongfully accused of being at a massage parlor. Hey, man, hit DeNunaLawFirm.com. If you can't remember the phone number, DeNunaLawFirm.com for all your legal needs. If you get into some DWI trouble, they handle that as well. Who else we got? Private label bags.
War tape.
Fighters
Inc.
Hit us with some war tape. I use war tape all the time. It's like $6 a roll.
War tape. We got Fighters Inc. Fighters Inc. was out at the last event. It was nice to meet Johanna. And
Yeah, they're getting us some gold gloves for
her sister.
No way. Yeah, cool.
So all our title fights, we're gonna do gold gloves. And we're gonna let the guys.
I look forward to seeing them back cage side soon. And who else? OnlyFans.
Check out Diego's feet.
Ring girls and Diego's feet pics right there on OnlyFans. Maybe, maybe not. It's free to subscribe.
Yep.
It's free to subscribe. I mean, what else do you want? Nothing better than free.
Yeah, all right, Diego.
Free. Boom.
The time for talk.
And just like that, Diego Reyes, and all of you out there watching at home, the time for talk is over. This has been Fury Unleashed.
Now, Houston, Texas, make some noise because the time for talk is over. It's time to